Hey, all you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another T&I quick review. And for today, I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new McFarlane Toys Spawn Overtkill Mega Figure. So I got mine here. I saw it was in stock at Target and went on and ordered it, and it arrived yesterday. So I thought I would give you guys a nice look at the figure and see if it's one that you want to add to your collection. So the figure comes in the same style packaging we've been seeing with all the modern Spawn figures. This, of course, being a bigger figure. You've got a bigger box. The figure is clearly displayed. You've got the Spawn logo down below as well as the name of the character. On the one side, you have some nice artwork for the character. I'm not sure who did this artwork, but obviously it's comic book based artwork. And then on the back, you have a larger version of that same image. So you can see Overt-Kill facing off against Spawn himself here in this image. All right, so let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside the packaging along with the other contents. Now, the only thing you get with this figure is a display stand like we always see with the McFarlane figures, and like with most of these big figures, it's not really something that you even need because he stands pretty good on his own power because he's got such big feet and everything. But the overall look of the figure, I think, is pretty good, even though I will say that I do kind of prefer the original look of the character. I believe this is his first appearance in the comics anyway, the Spawn comics number 6. And so I do kind of prefer this more, he's got a little more armor to the outfit, whereas on this figure, he's got more skin. It looks like, the armor has been blown off or something. This is based, I believe, on his more recent appearances in the comics, which I have not read. Now, I've actually always been very interested in this guy because my first exposure to this guy was actually in an old Stan Lee video series called Comic Book Greats that was done back in the day. And one of the episodes, he brought on Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld. So both Todd and Rob actually designed this character together. Stan Lee had the name Overtkill, and he threw it out there, and he basically told the two artists to create a character just based on the name, and this is what they essentially came up with. So it's a pretty interesting video. Back then, I always wanted to be an artist, so I always watch stuff like that. Of course, I just never had the skill to actually be a good artist, so that never happened. But the video series, again, it was originally a VHS video, which I actually have someplace still, but you can actually go on YouTube and watch it, and I'll put a link to that if you've never seen it before. It's definitely kind of interesting. But they actually designed this guy from scratch, and then when he appeared in the comics, they had renamed him Overt-Kill, probably because I guess maybe Stan Lee really did own the name. He said he owned the name in the video series. He said he was like going to use it in a movie or something, and he was basically having those guys design the character for him. But he ended up in Image Comics, he ended up in Spawn, he ended up as a Spawn villain, and I guess the rest is history. So like we've come to expect with most McFarlane figures, the overall sculpting design is really nice, especially here on the head sculpt. You can see, the teeth are very well detailed. You've got a nice wash effect on the teeth, and then you can see his dirty gums. You can see, nice detailing on the skin and everything. And then he's got like the cyborg pieces. He's got the red eye. It is just painted a flat red. It would have been cool if it was like a translucent like red or something, but as it is, it's just a flat red. And then you've got the metallic silver for his metal parts. Then you have this shoulder pad, which is actually articulated. It plugs in here with a ball joint, so you could probably get that off if you wanted to. I haven't really tried, but it does allow, it's articulated so it doesn't totally prohibit the arm movement, which is nice. So you have to kind of be careful that it doesn't get caught on things, but again, you can actually move the arm around pretty good even with this piece. Now this is done with just a plastic, and you've got this kind of greenish blue color to the armor, so it's not just metallic silver, it's more of a metallic bluish green. And then you have with the actual arm itself, the cyborg arm, you have again this kind of dark metallic silver with a lot of sculpting detail. And then you have the outer armor piece, and then he has this almost like Batman type things coming off of his gauntlets there. Then here again you have the skin. So originally this was all his chest was all covered. I don't know what happened where this looks like it's been kind of blown away or something. You can still see remnants of it up here, the silver pieces, but and he's still got these gold things, which I don't know if these are supposed to like power him or something, but that's what it kind of strikes me as. Maybe these are his batteries. And then he's got, again, his chest is basically bare here, but you've got nice detailing with the skin. And then over here again with the arms, and also on the hands, he's got these like metallic gold, like brass knuckles it looks like he's wearing. And then he's got this belt, which is done with, this belt buckle is done with like a soft rubber. And then again, the green for the shorts, the dark metallic silver. And then again with these outer pieces, that kind of greenish blue tint to it. Okay, so this figure stands just a little bit under 10 inches tall, between 9.5 and 10 inches. We'll go with, say, 10 3/4 inches. So he definitely has a good size to him. And for some comparisons, here's a look at the recent clown figure, Violator, and you can see Overtkill is taller than Violator. And then finally, for big guy comparisons, here's a look at the Cygor figure. And finally, for one more comparison, another new figure that I just got, the deluxe Spawn figure with throne. So here's a look of him on the throne, and then just for the Spawn figure itself, we'll put him in a standing position, and you can see that Overtkill is definitely much bigger than Spawn, as he should be. And for articulation, you can turn the head all the way around. You get a little bit of up and down movement, but basically he can just look straight ahead. He really doesn't have much in the way of up or down movement, and you can rotate or move the head to the left and to the right on this one. Now with the arms, again with this arm, you do have to be a little careful with that shoulder pad, but you know, you can get the arms out pretty good. That's probably about as far out as I'd get this one with the shoulder pad, but this one you can get out. This arm definitely is easier to move because it doesn't have that shoulder pad in the way, but again, you do get some articulation on that shoulder pad, so it doesn't completely limit the movement. Then on the arm, you've got a single hinged elbow, so he can bend his elbow about that much, and then you also get rotation there at the elbow, but you do not have a bicep swivel. And then with the hands, you got rotation, and you got the hinges, so you got up and down movement. Now these pieces come out over the hands a bit, so that limits how much you can get the hands up. You have, you do not have an ab crunch, you just have a waist swivel, so he can rotate, he can pivot to the left and the right. He really can't crunch forward though, and he really can't look back a whole lot. I will say it's a little bit loose here. It's not too bad right now, but I do feel like maybe over time that could become a problem. So just something to note. The crotch piece is done with the rubber material like we've been seeing with all the McFarlane figures. So, you know, he can get the leg forward good, and he can do the leg back pretty good. You have that kind of inner thigh joint like we see again with all the McFarlane figures. So you get a little rotation there. You've got rotation with the knees. You have just a single hinge knee, so he can bend his knee about that much. And then with the feet, again, you have hinges, so up and down movement. And then you do not get toe articulation on this one. You get a little bit of pivot there around that ball joint, and no peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Okay, so that's my review. So overall, I think this is a pretty good figure. He's a big one, but you know, even being big, you still get some decent movement from him. You can get him in some good fighting type positions to go against Spawn, which is basically what he does. He's just a big brute. Definitely, I've always been interested in the Overt-Kill character just because of how he was created, a joint creation between Stan Lee, McFarlane, and Rob Liefeld. So I always found him interesting because of that. I have not read the modern comics with him in it, so I don't know, you know, what he's been up to or why his look has changed or what have you. But again, I do kind of prefer his original look over this more modern look. But again, for what it's based on, I think they've done a pretty good job here. Now, this figure is available at places like our sponsors, Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth. I'll have an image gallery up at TNI. You can check out the link below for that if you want to. As always, guys, stay safe out there. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, I'll catch you later.
Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so alerted every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News Message Boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great.